Hey everyone, Renee here. Recently I posted my morning routine as the weather transitioned into fall, so now I've got my evening routine for you. My evening routines are always centered around well-aging repair, whereas my morning routines are about protection. But after a day, I just want my skin to relax, to be soothed, to heal, and to just unwind. I want that for my soul too. So a couple of things. I started using a new retinoid recently after a hiatus for no particular reason other than I had finished what I was using before, and I just took a break, unintentional, but for a while my routine was just super simple during the summer. So adding the retinoid back in, along with seasonal changes, although I think it's mostly the seasonal changes, have left my skin feeling a little bit on the dry side, which goes against my glazed donut goals. So I just need to work a little harder, but also I'm adding a lot more soothing and gentle formulas in my routine again, just to mitigate any possibility of potential irritation. Also, I am rosacea prone, so I'm always extra careful. As the first step of my routine, especially during these drier months, my skin just really wants that thick, luxurious oil cleanser feel. That's what I really get from Peach & Lily's Ginger Melt Oil Cleanser. This has that bouncy, cushiony texture that really inspires massage because I just love the way it feels. This isn't one of those very oily oil cleansers. It has that beautiful, lush texture and also has a good amount of glycerin in it as well. But unlike a lot of glycerin cleansers, it doesn't, pull or tug at your skin while you're applying it. It has the most beautiful slip. This emulsifies beautifully and rinses off without leaving any residue behind. It just takes away all of the day's build-up sunscreen makeup along with it. This has a nice blend of balancing oils, but also some very rich antioxidant extracts in it as well, such as the ginger root extract, but also very calming ones. So this has calendula, centella asiatica, chamomile, and also licorice root, so it's very soothing and this doesn't leave the skin feeling dry. This is definitely on the gentler side, is a great first cleanser, good at removing resistant sunscreen from my skin. As far as makeup goes, I don't wear a lot, and my mascara is not like the very water-resistant Japanese kind. I actually use tubing mascaras, which actually come off just with water, and then I tightline. So this does a great job of that. I believe with the more really intense, resistant eye makeup, then the second cleanser will remove the residuals. The second cleanser that I've been loving so much, and for a while now, is this new one from Paula's Choice new Calm collection. Their Ultra Gentle Cleanser. Paula's Choice cleansers are so tragically underrated. They're so good, and I've tried every single one of them. This one is my favorite of them all so far, and that is saying quite a bit. The new Calm line is all about soothing inflammation, and there really isn't a bigger foe to well-aging skin than inflammation. This again has that irresistible texture to me. It's got this thick richness that is so comforting to the skin while you are using it. This is a very simple, uncomplicated formula. It uses the gentlest cleansing agents, has a pH of about 5 to 5.5, and as you're cleansing your skin, this turns into a mild, milky lather. So there's nothing aggressive about this at all. It just feels really comforting as you're using it. This also contains the triglycerides, the glycerin, everything to make sure your skin does not get stripped as you are cleansing. In fact, it adds back, and it also has prebiotic sugars. This is also a perfect cleanser to use in the morning. It leaves your skin feeling really smooth and soft after rinsing. So in my evening routine after cleansing, it's about the peptides, and something new that I've added to my routine in the past few months is from The Ordinary, the multi-peptide lash and brow serum. This is in my morning routines as well. It's just something I'm going to keep using because I like it. It actually feels nice on the lash line right before it completely sinks in. It's actually nice and hydrating, especially for this brow area, because it usually gets quite tight and dry around here. So it is quite comforting. I mentioned that I feel it has definitely had a more significant impact on my brows, and that I've actually had to trim them quite a few times since I started using this. Something new I've noticed happening is that my eyelashes now kind of go upwards rather than the usual sort of straight downward pointing lashes. They actually go up now. I'm not sure how noticeable it's on camera. I do have wispy lashes, but it's very noticeable to me in real life, and particularly when I start using mascara. I don't use a curler. It just kind of goes upwards now. I can't imagine any other reason for why it's suddenly going upwards other than continued use of this. Next up, it's the copper peptides for me. This is just predictable. NIOD's Copper Amino Isolate Serum is it for me. I have tried others. None come even close in my experience to what this does for my skin. So I'd like to reiterate that using this in the same routine as a retinoid is completely fine. They will not alter or affect one another's efficacies. The only reason to alternate them, or why I've used them on alternate nights, is because you're talking about two very powerful formulas that, especially where skin resurfacing and skin smoothness is concerned. So if you're someone with sensitive skin, then using them together may be a bit too much for your skin. In my experience, they work so perfectly together on alternate nights, especially because I don't use Tret every single night. That's just something that works the best for my skin. So for this routine, I'm not going to use Tret. I'm going to have another evening routine with Tret to show you what I do on those nights, because it is a little different. I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I keep getting asked about this. So the order in which I layer formulas in a routine is from thinnest to thickest consistency, but also most concentrated actives go first, to least concentrated. This is just what makes the most sense for me and really works well for my skin. Right after cleansing, before anything else goes on my face, I want these formulas on my skin so that they can absorb without any disturbance. Of course, if your skin is on the more sensitive side, then it makes sense to perhaps use these serums after a hydrating essence or toner, so there isn't such a big and immediate impact on your skin right away. So this all has to do with your own skin tuition and just trial and error and seeing what works best for you. Now for my favorite part of the routine, obviously essence. Of course, I'm using my black ginseng essence that was done in collaboration with Saro. This is finally back in stock, and Saro has revised their international shipping fees as well. But it's just so great for me to see those of you who pre-ordered finally get your orders. And seriously, nothing makes me more happy, nothing, than hearing that you love this as much as I do, or that your skin loves it as much as mine does. This has been giving my skin all the bounce and all the glow, but also just the application in of itself, the texture has been pure comfort. It gives me deep pleasure to apply this every morning, every night. More than any other step, this is the one I feel that just really nourishes my skin the most. Not only does it feel like it's inflating it, but it's also feeding it with the most potent medicinal herbs that are so antioxidant rich, but also all the soothing plant extracts as well, and the niacinamide, but also the natural moisturizing factors, the 5 different ceramides, the lipids, the cholesterol also really keep the skin feeling moisturized as well. So there have been times that I've been able to use a few skins of this and then go straight onto a moisturizing sunscreen during the day. It does a lot of jobs. This has also worked really well as I've introduced a new retinoid into my routine. The niacinamide, the formula, has just been very good at calming and counterbalancing any possible retinization. Usually I just use one skin of this because it is very serum-like and it has a very serum-like rich texture. But as the weather has changed, I want to give my skin more. So I use around 3 skins. 2 drops is all it takes for my entire face and neck. And I really do like to indulge. For this area, I've been really loving this great well-aging eye serum/cream hybrid from Dr. Sam, the Flawless Nightly Eye Serum. This is a concentrated formula, but still gentle. I love the fact that there is 5% niacinamide in this, as well as 2% gram-active retinoid and 2% of a vitamin C derivative that is specifically good at brightening the skin, ascorbyl glucoside. But of course, it's a silky emollient texture that I love so much. It's so comforting, and it's just so great for right now. This area is a little drier with the weather being drier, but also I love that I can use it on my upper mobile lid as well. I use it all over my eye area. It doesn't weigh my lids down. I don't wake up in the morning with these super puffy eyes. Well, definitely not from the eye cream, probably more from my diet than anything else. So for moisturizer, 2 that I've been loving for the evening, one of which is more of a treatment than anything else, but it's just such a great treatment from by Wishtrend, their Vitamin A-mazing Bakuchiol night cream. So this is a few things. First of all, it's a beautifully silky moisturizer that actually feels really hydrating on the skin, but also this is a retinoid treatment. So this formula contains retinaldehyde, which has always been my favorite non-prescription retinoid. Before I started Tret, I was using Medicaid's Crystal Retinol, which really was so amazing for my skin. Really no retinization, no issues whatsoever. But of course, if there is a gold standard out there, I want to use the gold standard. But for a very long time, years in fact, I was alternating between the retinol and the Tret. And that worked really well. So this formula combines retinol with Bakuchiol, which is a fabulous combination. I mean, there are a lot of brands that market Bakuchiol as like a plant alternative to retinoid. I mean, I think for me, at most, I will say that Bakuchiol is a plant ingredient that has great well-aging benefits for the skin. So I think it makes for a great partner with an actual retinoid. This has that yellow color that is characteristic of retinaldehyde. It also comes in an airless pump to protect the retinol and keep it stable. Like I said, the texture of this is lovely. It's immediately hydrating on the skin, but it also has a real silkiness, so you can it spreads beautifully. This has a thinness to it, but as a moisturizer, it's not that lightweight. This definitely moisturizes quite beautifully for most people. This is enough. Remember, it's a treatment, so I wouldn't be as liberal in applying it as I would a regular moisturizer. I'm very liberal with my moisturizers. If your skin needs more, you can always layer another moisturizer on top. Like other retinoid formulas, I think phasing a new one in is always a good idea, just in case. Side note, if you're interested in trying this, just wait a little bit, because this may or may not appear in a certain annual holiday box of wishes. For the times when I feel my skin just needs more, I've been loving from Paula's Choice their Rescue and Repair Intensive Moisturizer, again from the new Calm collection. This is such a perfect moisturizer for the evening before going to bed, especially when you need something more intense for your skin. For me, I don't really like going to bed with skin that is really sort of greasy or heavy with product that has not sunken in or doesn't dry down, because I mean, first of all, my hair will get into it and stick. I move around a lot in my sleep. I smear my face in the pillows. It can be disruptive. So what's really unique about this moisturizer, and I love it, is that when you're applying it, you really get the sense that this is gripping and hugging your skin. It's like latching on and it won't move. It's definitely buttery and emollient, yet somehow not super heavy and not at all greasy. In fact, it just kind of dries down. Your skin feels moisturized. There's definitely a layer on it. I actually appreciate that this doesn't contain the typical butters and waxes that you see in emollient and intense moisturizers. Not that I have a problem with them at all, but I know that a lot of people prefer not to have the heavy shea butters or the different waxes, especially if you're acne prone or you just feel it might be too occlusive and clog your pores. This is a simple formula, but it is so comforting. So if you are experiencing any kind of irritation or dryness or redness, this really comforts your skin. This has hexapeptide 8 in it. It's got glycogen, also contains squalane. And even though it is intensely moisturizing and you'll wake up in the morning with very soft skin that has just retained moisture, this doesn't have the same feeling that a lot of occlusive moisturizers have, which is, the best way I can describe it is like you feel like your skin isn't really breathing. Anyone who's tried slugging or putting Vaseline knows exactly what that feels like. But you're getting all of that without feeling like your skin is just getting suffocated. Do I really need another Laneige lip sleeping mask? It appears apparently I do. They came out with a new pumpkin spice mask, and there really was nothing I could do about it. I mean, this smells like a cross between a pumpkin pie and the best chai ever. I mean, this even looks like pumpkin. I can't tell you how much I enjoy using this. Actually, it smells exactly like my favorite fall candle from Nest. It's also pumpkin themed. I mean, this makes me want to have a chai right now. So that's it for my evening routine. Stay tuned for part 2, where I'll be showing you what I do on my Tret nights and also showing you the Tret that I'm using right now, and also the different other supporting characters in that routine that really help mitigate any potential retinization. Thank you, as always, so much for watching, and until next time, I'm wishing you great skin health. Good night.